Welcome to Lights Camera Barstool, episode 563 of season 2. You have myself, you have the Gooch Man. Today we're going to be talking a bunch of news. We'll be talking about a lot of Mattel stuff because I was in a lot of like post Barbie hype. It's kind of like, or let's say consequences of Barbie doing well. And we'll be doing a draft, a Mattel draft. We'll be making our own little movie out of our own chosen Mattel property, which will be fun. But before we do that, let's talk about Groove Life. Sometimes you just get belts that you hate. They stink. They're horrible. But thankfully, now you got Groove Life. They just gave us these today. This thing is sick. So look at this. Pulling on it.
Wait, can I see it?
Yeah, absolutely. See if you can even figure out how to open it. There you go. See, you got to push forward.
It's groovy, baby.
Dude, it feels like I'm like Han Solo or something like that, right? When you unlock it.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that a great noise?
That's very satisfying.
Give that an ASMR into the mic.
This is a magnet ASMR.
Oh, it's like you're clipping in like a Han Solo belt or something. It's crazy. This podcast is sponsored by Groove Life. It's 2023. Are you using the same belt from 2003? Now is the time to update your belt game with Groove Life. The Groove Belt has proprietary webbing engineered to be just the right amount of stretch, and the Groove Life is designed to be the world's baddest buckle. That is a sick buckle. I love this buckle. The buckle includes what they call stiff tech. That's a fancy way of saying there's no annoying belt flaps that need to be tucked in, which I do hate that. That's so frustrating. And whatever happens to your Groove Life gear, they are here to help. With Groove Life's 94 years, so specific, no BS warranty, the Groove Life belt will last you basically your entire life. You're set forever. And we love Groove Life. I mean, just fucking look at that thing. They gave us wallets as well. The wallet is really cool. Very cool, like little leather thing you can put on the back of your phone. They're good for the office, the belt. It's good for the woods, the backyard, everything in between. Plus, it never needs to be adjusted. Just put it on and forget about it. Just give it another click.
Belt shopping is low key one of the worst things.
I hate it. I hate it more than anything. It's one of the worst things
because it's always 5 times more expensive than you're expecting.
Exactly.
And you got to go to like a Macy's or like you have to go to a department store to get one. And that's like the only option.
And you're going through like that weird stand that looks like a horse's tail where it's like 500 belts. And you pick one up like, oh, finally, this one looks good. And it's size like 53.
Yes.
And you're just screwed. But this one, look at that. Look at that webbing.
I got one time, one of those threaded ones.
Yeah.
And it fell apart like within 2 weeks.
Everyone tries one of those once. I had the one where it was a circle belt loop. You know, and you like had to do a weird way of like tightening it. You ever try one of those?
Yeah, that was hot in like 2010. Those were.
Yeah, I wore those in high school. It was the ugliest fucking thing in the world. And I was putting it into like my plaid pants.
They're like football
shorts.
It's like a football belt.
Yeah, like literally, dude, it was the ugliest fucking thing in the world. I don't know why they were popular. I had like that. I'd be wearing like plaid multicolored shorts. Disgusting. And then I'd be wearing that fucking dumb beanie with the tiny brim.
Oh my god!
From the kid from
I never did that.
I'm so pissed. Like, and the funniest thing is, in retrospect, my mom telling me all these things looked stupid. It makes me think you just don't know what you're talking about.
Gavin DeGraw was so harmful towards men's fashion.
Extremely. I think there's another version of this too, where I wore something really bad. All right, but before we do that, we could just end out our ad here. It's time to bring your belt game into the 21st century. Head to groovelife.com/LCB for 20% off all Groove Life products. It's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our link, groovelife.com/LCB for 20% off your order. One last time, that's groovelife.com/LCB for 20% off your order. I'm trying to think, there's definitely worse things I wore, but the beanie hat, I think, was by far. I was opposed to her skater shoes too, Etnies.
My mom wouldn't let me wear. My mom wouldn't let me wear skate shoes. She was like, "It'll hurt your back."
Hurt your back? Oh, I wish she said that.
She's like the arches. She's like, you need arch support. It'll hurt your back. And I was like, Mom, I'm a boarder. I had a skateboard, and she was mad when I got a skateboard.
Yeah.
She's like, you're gonna turn into a delinquent.
This is one of the worst things that I've done. I bought a skateboard from Toys R Us. Because I didn't want to spend money on a real skateboard because the real ones were actually expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And all those guys would be like, yeah, I got this axle kit from here. I got this from there. So I want to learn how to do it, but I don't want to like have it be a Christmas present level gift, you know? So I got one at Toys R Us for like $20. And then I spray painted it with spray paint from my garage. And I spray painted the best I could. I believe the shocker.
Oh, my God.
It was a gray board with a white shocker on it. It's like the most 2007-ass story that's ever existed.
Dude, this is like a Dane Cook reference. Yeah. This is sick.
And I was like, this shit's so cool. And like, I never learned even remotely close to a skateboard. The closest thing I got was like in our school in recess for whatever reason. Like they would randomly have times where they teach you how to use a waveboard or whatever those things are called. The things where you like the wiggle boards.
The little square ones?
No. It's like a thing where like you have to like do like a weird motion to get the
Oh,
board
the
to
one with
move.
like 2 wheels.
Yeah.
That was some futuristic technology.
They
When it
thought
came
that
out.
was the future.
They really did.
Yeah, they thought that was for sure going to be the thing in the future. And like I knew partially how to do that, but never skateboarding, and like barely biking.
That's what the Brooklyn people need, or the smelly people in New York who skateboard. They need to start. They need to start doing wiggle boards instead of those like 1 wheel things.
What the fuck do you call that? What were they called?
The little square
Ripstick.
The little square scooters with like 4 wheels. Those things are dangerous.
They're not cheap now. $50 on Amazon for that's not
Razor
awful.
Ripstick.
The Razor Ripstick. I mean, that does sound cool. They threw rip on a lot of stuff back then, though, and rightfully so because it did sound very cool. But all I remember is you had to do this weird wiggling motion to get it to work, and I don't know, kind of dug it. Anyway, that's 2005. Oh, and I used to put in there's a gel that I would put in that would make my hair like blonde.
Oh yeah,
like a blonde tip.
Oh.
Yeah. And I would put it in. And I remember, I think the first day I wore it to middle school and the front desk person caught me as I was walking in. She made me wash it out.
Shut the fuck up.
She's like, you can't wear that. You look stupid. I was just like, what do you mean? She's like, you cannot wear that into class. And she made me wash it out in the bathroom. It's really very traumatizing.
So, I know some lessons you need to learn. Like you should have at least made it to the lunch table and like
got roasted.
Yeah, and got roasted.
Yeah,
that's how you learn that lesson. You don't need the I feel like the secretary roasting you is so much worse.
I don't think I ever got a bad roast session in high school or in middle school, other than like Jack is so easy to just say jackass.
Yeah.
Like, okay, jackass. That was the worst thing I think I would ever get, if that. What, yours are worse?
I mean, my lunch table, all we did was rip on each other.
Yeah.
That was just the goal every day.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like specific insults.
Start food fights.
Food fights?
We would just throw stuff.
Well, yeah, throwing stuff, that's a high school special. You know what I mean? I remember in my middle school vividly also telling, I think it's 6th grade, like Chuck Norris jokes. We'd bring in a printout of like the newest Chuck Norris joke.
I just remembered this, but yeah, the Chuck Norris thing was huge. But one time my friend threw a piece of pizza up in the air and then it came down and it hit a mentally challenged kid.
Oh no.
It was so bad.
I remember in, I think it was 7th grade, a kid kept annoying me. He was like annoying the absolute dog shit out of me. He gets up and we had like a snack sort of thing where like after you ate the lunch, you can go up after like 15 minutes and get like a snack.
Yeah.
And like I got one of those chocolate shell ice creams.
Oh yeah.
I took part of the chocolate shell off and I put it on his seat and he sat on it and he was wearing a pretty bright colored.
Looked like poop.
Yeah, it looked like he shit himself. And he like cried his way all the way into the office or something, which is very mean in retrospect, but like he was extremely annoying.
Yeah, I mean, those kids need to be bullied.
Mm-hmm. And then I think I told the story in the bracket. There was one kid. This is the last in the nostalgia stories. Yeah, he thought a kid he was grade above me. He thought a kid in my grade had tagged his car, and it wasn't him. But everyone told him that it was the kid from my grade, and he picked him up in the middle of lunch and suplexed him into like a table. And his last name was Jocks, which is just, it fit perfectly.
There we go.
So funny. Anyway, the embargo for reviews for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem came up. We have a few reviews. I'll just give you a couple off the top. Guardian said, and I hated this one, so I just wanted to say it. This new animated origin story for the Chelonian Adventures is an unexpectedly funny movie with rather stylish crepuscular design. So Chelonian that's like the feline version of turtles. You can't just say that.
What is this?
So this is a guy from The Guardian. He said for the Chelonian Adventures. And Chelonian is like saying like female for cat or feline for cat. Like you can't just say that as if it's something everybody knows. Like Ursine or something like that.
Wait,
This is for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Why would it be Chelonian?
Because that's like their genus. Like, you know what I mean? Like their Latin name of for turtles.
That's so fucking
like,
stupid.
Like feline. You know what I mean? Or like canine, whatever the fuck. And then I didn't even look this word up. Crepuscular. Well, I can't wait.
This is a real review.
It's from
for
Guardian.
A children's movie.
This is from from Guardian. Crepuscular, resembling or relating to Twilight. What the fuck are you talking about? Or in zoology and an animal appearing or active in Twilight. Still, what the fuck are you talking about?
So why not just say nocturnal?
Exactly, or just nobody speaks like this.
Nobody.
Why? And that's something I remember. Like every now and then, like when someone will ask, like, "Hey," like because we all get these DMs, both me and Jeff, and I'm sure you at this point. Like we'll get people like, "Hey, I'm trying to get started into doing reviews." Blah 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 blah. The number one thing I always say is just like write reviews like you speak.
Yeah.
Don't write reviews like you're trying to make like saying Crespular or Chelonian or trying to sound smart. Just write it as if you were describing it to a friend. Like you wouldn't say these words to people. You know what I mean? Chelonian Crepscular.
I can't tell if they liked it or not from those words.
Mama's Geeky said, an absolute game changer, perfectly combines the nostalgia with some refreshing, stunning animation, hilarious jokes, and a killer soundtrack.
There you go. That's how you talk.
The movie Cricket, easily the most visually arresting animation in a movie this year that doesn't have Spider-Verse in the title. Visually arresting is in like you stopped because like it's so.
What was that reviewer's name?
The movie Cricket. I just picked every review that had a weird name, including Mama's Cricket. And then THR just said their only review, and this is all it said on Rotten Tomatoes, was Cowabunga.
There we go.
That's good. That's good.
That's a good review. That's honestly, that sells me.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive, like 97% right now.
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's the one. I think that's got to be most people's number one August movie. By the way, if you look at the August slate, holy shit. What the fuck was what was Paramount thinking? What were they thinking?
I think that might have been a cruise call or something, because I feel like any halfway competent movie executive, although we'll talk about Paramount later with that.
My only thought is maybe they knew the strike was coming and they wanted to get the press tour out there. But even then, move up. There was still nothing. I guess Flash was there. You could have moved into February. The movie was done.
All right, August, the very first movie for August, TMNT Mutant Mayhem. Then Meg 2.
Meg 2 actually looks kind of cool, but it's not like a box office challenge in the States. Like that's a China movie.
Then Gran Turismo.
Yeah, no,
which
that's going to lose so much money.
The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I know you're excited for.
I'm excited for. Going to lose money.
Heart of Stone.
Not a real movie.
Not real. Absolute and total money laundering scam. Blue Beetle.
That one is going to lose so much money. And I think it won't be, I don't think it'll be terrible. I don't think it's going to be great or anything. I also don't think it's going to be the worst thing ever. But it's like we went over $120 million.
So much money.
It's going to make if you don't know, it's literally tracking for $27 million like for its run.
Yeah, total. Strays, which I can't get a read on that.
The trailer makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, I'm very difficult for me to get an accurate read, which and I'm sure there's reviews early or whatever.
Will Forte being in it is like the big plus.
Yeah,
like that's like Will Forte playing a piece of shit drunk. Like that looks funny.
And the cast is crazy too. Besides Pharrell, like it's Fox,
Jamie, Will Ferrell,
Isla Fisher, Randall Park, Josh Gad, Harvey Guillen, by the way, I caught up on What We Do in the Shadows. Very funny.
Yeah, the new season is very funny.
Rob Riggle, Brett Gelman.
I swear I heard Maya Rudolph in there at one point.
I don't see it in the top group. Sofia Vergara as well. Let's see. The Monkey King. That doesn't look fantastic. Vacation Friends 2. We like the original friend.
Oh, there's a second one coming out?
Oh, wait. It doesn't have... The second one's not going to have John... Oh, no, it does have John Cena. Okay, thank God.
Yeah, the first one was good.
Yeah, we like the first one. Retribution? A Liam Neeson thriller. Okay.
Oh yeah, that is just... that's the trailer that's just taken.
Yeah. Bottoms.
That looks very funny. And that's got... Like, I'm pretty sure that's sitting at like 97% also.
Yeah, that's got...
Rachel Sennett and A.O.
A couple people that we really like in that, yeah.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch included.
Oh yeah, he looks like he has like a major role too.
Golda, I don't know what that is, but it is Helen Mirren and Liev Schreiber.
There's a big horror movie coming out too, right?
What
like Following?
Yeah. We'll get back to it. The Retirement Plan with Nick Cage and Ron Perlman, which I saw the trailer for that. It was like him beating up Ron Perlman or something.
Yeah.
The Hill, and that's it. The Hill's Colin Ford and Dennis Quaid. Is this a religious movie? Briarcliff Entertainment, I'm pretty sure it's a religious thing.
It's going to be Jesus' speech on the hill.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah. It's not a great slate coming up. But anyway, Team Ninja Turtles. I'm not a huge Turtles guy. I didn't grow up with the Turtles. Not like some, I can never claim to be as big a fan as anyone else or anything like that.
Not as big as Clemmer.
Definitely not as big as Clemmer. He has him tattooed on, two of them tattooed, or is it one?
There's four.
They don't have the fourth turtle.
They don't have the fourth turtle. One of us should honestly just... Nick, since he already has a bunch of bad tattoos, you should just go and get it. Yeah. Be like, I'm in your crew.
I'm your fourth crew member. Your crew. But I was never just into them. I just giant goofy turtles, like everything about them. Like I'm all about the life of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just doing ninja shit, eating pizza, relaxing with the fellas in the sewer, hanging out with April O'Neil. Everything about that's cool. But like I don't know, it never resonated with me.
That is crazy that never hit you. just because I was looking through it because I was looking at like most valuable because of the Barbie release. I wanted to see like what IPs are actually like worth the most in Hollywood. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like top 15.
Well, the Michael Bay ones that both I think made a decent amount of money, no? And
it's the shows. Every show has been wildly successful that they've done on Nickelodeon, which is huge. And then the merch is always like their toys have always sold.
I think I was just born, or I was watching TV in a dry spell era for TMNT because like the cartoon was too old, the movies looked too old, and like the first one to come about in like my conscious era of absorbing television was like the Michael Bay ones, which is not exactly something where I'm like, oh damn, I gotta go watch more of this.
The first one was fine. The second one was really bad. Yeah, and they were kind of creepy looking because of the CGI.
Yeah, CGI did not help at all. Oh, we didn't even have this on the docket, but I feel like I want to include it.
I got something I need to add that just came across my desk. No, this is inner Barstool drama.
What?
This is with KFC Radio. I think we have a beef with them.
What'd they say now?
They said they referred to us in their Barbie review. They said 3 guys afraid to say what they really think of the movie.
Ooh, did they really?
Yeah.
Who tweeted that to us?
This is in our Reddit. Someone posted it. Ooh. So Edmund MP, I hope you're not misquoting because KFC fights. I love that fucking movie, and you guys are wrong.
Well, we'll have a conversation with them later. Yeah, but I do want to talk about Secret Invasion and how horrible that finale was. Did you watch it?
No, I quit watching after the first episode. I have never been happier with my decision.
It like that show, and again, we've talked about it. The concept of it is so interesting because you have the ability to kind of take a step back from the mega powers shit and like superpowers and like kind of do gritty espionage stuff, which is what made movies like Captain America and the Winter Soldier so great. And instead of doing that, they just kind of blew $222 million on a couple big, huge name actors and then did nothing with it. And the finale, I think, is the perfect encapsulation of what a waste of time it was because it is the least satisfying finale I think I've ever watched of a show in my entire life, of any season, of any ending, of any. It is so like borderline financial crime watching that because like not only is it just bad, like story written, everything like that, it looks like shit for a $212 million show. You've seen the screen caps.
Yeah, I've seen the clips.
And the clips.
I've seen the clips. It looks awful.
It is mind boggling how bad it looks. And like for a show that is costing that much anyway. And just nothing about it is like, this was something you needed to do. You know what I mean? And
the fact that they sold it and like pre-hyped it as like the MCU's Andor, like that is so, you can't sell the audience. Like you're losing your audience like rapidly. Marvel, like you are very quickly losing it. I think they need to legitimately pull the plug on the television
department.
Talked about this too. Like just pull the plug. Do it. Like after Loki comes out, just take a step back, breathe for a second, reorganize everything. Like you need to bring in competent writers and give them the freedom to tell their stories. Try to disconnect everything from like what you're doing in the movie world. And because I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's this Gaia character now, like that is just the strongest in the MCU.
Yes, I'm just gonna spoil it because it's a dog shit show. Sorry, but she gets the DNA of every Avenger and like Marvel related character basically all in once, and she can use any of the powers at once.
This is Gaia. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and
I can't wait to watch the next Avengers movie, waiting for Gaia to show up.
And like, no offense to the actors in this, they all kind of mailed it in this. Like,
yeah.
And like these are huge names, and they all got giant paychecks, and I don't blame them for taking this role. I would say the antagonist, I forget that actor's name. Oh my god, not
Ben Kingsley Adir.
Ben Kingsley Adir. He was, I would say, easily the best actor out of that entire group as far as performance given. The rest of them were rough.
It's not like they had any other big name actors in there, like fucking Samuel L. Jackson, Emilia Clarke, Olivia Colman.
Dude, it is
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn. Who is,
good lord.
Yeah, it is. He, by the way, again, spoiler, he's dead.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm never going to watch this, so I just read through all the spoilers.
Yeah, it's bad. It was a dog shit show, and it is very frustrating because, again, at least that looked like it could have been a turnaround because unlike all these other shows, didn't have to be a giant scale, big CGI project. Could have just been down home country espionage.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. Like our great show, Special Ops Linus.
Someone said it was okay.
It's got a bad ratings. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's very rough. We got our first picture of the Iron Claw from A24. Jeremy Allen White, Zac Efron, Lily James, directed by Sean Durkin, who did The Nest.
Wait, Lily James is in this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's centered around the Von Erich family, a dynasty of wrestlers from the 60s onwards that had enormous success, popularized by the Iron Claw professional wrestling hold, where they not only had a battle inside the ring, but they also had a battle with the Von Erich curse outside of it. I'm only like a very surface level wrestling fan, but I've heard a lot about the Von Erich curse and all this stuff. Very interested to see this. Just the picture alone of Jeremy Allen White next to Zac Efron. We're so fucked. We're so fucked as men.
What do you mean?
Every girl just sees that picture and like it's over. We have no chance.
Zac Efron does not look great, but Jeremy Allen White looks fantastic. And Harris Dickinson.
I mean, they both look fucking
so
strong
handsome
and ripped.
I think Harris Dickinson's going to be sneaky, the funny guy.
Mm.
He was very funny in Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, he was.
As just good. Like an idiot.
But Jeremy Allen White specifically, he's in more than anybody right now.
I would love for him to just sneak up because that's like the perfect release date for him just to sneak into the Oscar race.
I heard, actually, I saw a couple people who had seen like any early stuff for this or whatever. They all said like he is the star of this movie. Like he delivers like an all-time performance. So throwing it out there.
That's the one thing with Oppenheimer where people are already like writing in the ballot, like giving them the awards already. Yeah. I'm like, this is like Everything Everywhere All at Once last year was kind of like a trend breaker in that sense because it released early and somehow picked the steam back up. Yeah, it had the staying power. That almost never happens. Usually it's always November on releases.
And to be fair, the November on releases usually do have the best acting and best everything. Like it's very rare.
They plan it that way.
But yeah, I mean, it looks awesome. I'm down for like wrestling is such an interesting world, especially the early history of wrestling, where like you can really like it's a world that you can explore for people that don't know a lot about it, including myself. Like I don't know a ton by any means whatsoever. Just like cursory wiki searches or going to rabbit holes after watching clips on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw people saying like, "Oh, they don't look like the Von Erich." Like a couple of people are like, "They don't look like them," and I was like, "Well, I wanted to say like 1% of the audience is going to know what the Von Erich brothers look like."
Yeah,
like I don't know anything about them other than they all ended up dying, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
Spoiler alert, they all end up dying in kind of tragic ways. And it's kind of weird.
A lot of wrestlers died in really tragic ways. It's
yeah, to be fair, they do. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I mean,
and The Miz is in it too, this movie, which is kind of cool.
What else has Sean Durkin done?
He did The Nest, which was really good.
Never seen it.
And I don't think there's anything else I can think off the top of my head. And then one of the last two things. Paramount CEO Brian Robbins said that they're moving away from releasing original animated movies in theaters and instead will focus on IPs. We're not going to release an expensive animated original movie, and we're just going to pray that people will come. And here's the thing. Paramount spends so much money on things that are like they should not be spending that much money on. And I quote tweeted it with the cost for 1923, the Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren spinoff of Yellowstone, one of 4 spinoffs Yellowstone is in development right now.
They have 4 spinoffs?
They had 1883, the prequel one. They have Yellowstone. They have 1923, and they have a future one that's coming out soon.
They just keep doing it in 50-year increments.
Exactly. And it's crazy. But like they spent $200 million over that on the 8-episode season of 1923, which is batshit crazy. Because when you think about it, the total cost of, let's say, Into the Spider-Verse, right? One of the best anime movies, although tied to an IP. That was like $100 million, like before marketing and all that shit. Like that is how much they're spending on that. And he's like, "Oh, we don't want to do anything animated. We need to give Harrison Ford $50 million to go like, I'm dug it." It's like it's insane to me, and especially, and this is like also what I followed up with was animation in my head, and I'm sure you being an anime head too agree to an extent. Like animation should be the preferred medium for an original concept because the only limitations or most of the limitations are just whatever the creator's imagination is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're making a movie, like a live action movie, you are limited by like your imagination is limited. Like you can only do things as far as practicality and budget can take you. Not really the case with animation. Like if you want to do something, like let's say you design this whole new shot in your head, you guys get it scripted up, you animate it, whatever. If you think at the end of the day, hey, this sucks, maybe we gotta redo it. It's not gonna be a $15 million fix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's insane to me that would be the takeaway for a Paramount CEO is just to like move away from making which should be a mutually very beneficial thing, right? Because for a studio, you don't have to spend a lot of money to make an original animated property. And like for the directors, like you don't need to again be limited by a budget or by green screen or by actors' times and availabilities, because you can do sound booths all over the place. Like, so this should be such a mutually beneficial marriage for creative minds and for studios. And yet this guy is just immediately shutting it off. He's like, I don't want to do any of that.
Also, what are the original animated movies Paramount Plus has ever put out? Or Paramount?
No fucking clue.
I can't think of, like, obviously they have the rights to Nickelodeon and their whole library, which includes Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But those are all IP based already. So I don't even know what this announcement even means. And it's also a wild thing to say, looking at where the box office has been this year.
Mm-hmm.
Sequel and remake after remake have flopped. And the exceptions have been Barbie and Oppenheimer, which you can say Barbie's an IP project, but was there really a craving for a Barbie movie? I think its success is based on you had a filmmaker who clearly had a vision for it, and they let him do whatever the fuck they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Oppenheimer, you could say Nolan's an IP at this point, but not really.
Yeah.
So original films with filmmakers with a vision are clearly what the audience is craving. So to go away from that and say we're just gonna dig our heels in deeper on what's clearly IPs, not working. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
And if you had to ask, like, just in the general public, what's the number one critique of Hollywood right now as far as what they're producing? It's everyone hates remakes and everyone hates reboots and everyone hates just diving into shit they already know. Everyone's like, when are they going to do something original? When are they going to do something original? And this guy just saying straight off the bat, like, oh, you guys all want something original? I'm literally never going to fund that. Like that, it's just such an insane thing to say in an interview. Brian Robbins.
I mean, fuck, from their own studio. Mission Impossible. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
Second weekend, it lost out to Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
Like, use your fucking brains. I don't know. It doesn't feel that complicated. It really doesn't. Like, I don't want to act like I'm smarter than these like guys who probably have Harvard business degrees and like are very educated and probably have worked in the industry for 20, 30 years. But they make it seem so complicated when it's like, what are the people telling you? Like, people tell you with their wallets what they want to see, and you're not listening at all.
I wonder what's the highest grossing anime movies
for Paramount.
Spirited Away, one of the highest grossing animated movies of all time.
Oh, for highest.
Suzume, original property, one of the highest grossing animated movies of all time. Your Name, one of the highest grossing animated movies. Demon Slayer is the one you could consider part of an IP, and that's the number one. The first Slam Dunk, I never watched that, although now reading that, I immediately want to. And that came out last year. One Piece film Red.
I saw that in theaters, baby. That was awesome.
$250 million. Howl's Moving Castle, one of the top. Ponyo. Like, these are, like, for the most part, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, which was cool. Most of these are original properties, just looking at the anime world. And that could easily be the domestic situation in the United States with animated movies. And again, because you could do so much. They just, like, studios, I guess these guys kind of think like this guy does. Where he's like, all I want to do is make live action remakes and reboots and something that people have built in an established audience for. And like, to a degree, the thinking is understandable, because for all these people that'll bitch and moan and be like, no one's making original movies, everyone's doing remakes. These people don't show up for any original movies. They don't go to the theater. They don't buy tickets for that. They'll go buy tickets when the new Marvel movie comes out, and they'll go and watch it, even though they're bitching about it. And like, that's exactly what influences. The only thing that influences studios ever is money.
Yeah.
That's literally it. That's it. But this just, to shut off this entire genre of original animated movies is just batshit crazy to me. Especially when they're doing, again, $200 million live action third spin-offs of Taylor Sheridan's universe, which he's getting a bag and a half, and I don't blame him for it.
How can that possibly be profitable for
Frito-Lay? He's overseeing 4 Yellowstone projects. He's overseeing Mayor of Kingstown. He's overseeing Special Op Lioness. He's overseeing, and what's the other show I missed? Tulsa King. All of this for Paramount Plus. And like, all these shows are like good.
Yes.
I don't think as of right now, any of these shows are great. And like, you know what I mean? And then we know that Taylor Sheridan's capable of that.
Yeah, none of them are close to his first 3 films.
First 3 films are 3 of the best movies of the last 20 years. And like, then he just now is doing all these things instead of being a lot of great things. It's just a lot of good things. Like, yeah, I like Tulsa King. I like Mayor of Kingstown is one of the ultimate shows where I enjoy watching it. I have no fucking clue what's going on half the time.
I never watched it, but it had the Ren dog in it.
Jeremy Renner was really good in it. He was awesome. And then like there's cool shit that happens in it. And like there's good tension. It's just like half the time, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. And Tulsa King's the opposite. It's like very simple-minded, but it's entertaining enough.
I watched 2 episodes on my flight back from Miami over break. But I didn't watch them on my own screen. The lady in front of me had an iPad Max, and it was massive. So I was just sitting there watching it. Had no idea what was happening. Yeah.
It's interesting enough. But yeah, I wish there was more animated movies because again, limit is the imagination. Mattel says they want to create their own cinematic universe along with Barbie sequels. They said it's a really rich. Or who actually said it? Was it the Mattel CEO that said it, or Mattel Films CEO?
Yeah, the Mattel Studios.
It's a very rich universe. It's very broad and an elastic brand in terms of opportunities. And Barbie had just passed today $500 million worldwide, which is crazy.
That's going to make.
It's going
to hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
It just is a question of how far over $1 billion it goes. Because like we were talking about that August slate, there's nothing to truncate that. Exactly. Those legs are going to keep running.
Exactly. That'll. And I'm very curious how high it goes. And they also have, as far as Mattel toy properties, they got Uno, Barney. There's a Barney movie being made. Wishbone. There was a Wishbone movie, right, in the 90s. I'm pretty sure. Matchbox, Hot Wheels, Magic 8 Ball, Polly Pocket. Was that fake or was that real?
What?
The Polly Pocket.
Oh, that's real.
That's real? Okay. Sometimes when...
Yeah, no.
You never know.
No, that one was real. I was kind of like shocked.
Viewmaster. Viewmaster thing where you just go like...
Yeah, like what? It's going to just be Ready Player One. I don't know. Like what do you do with Viewmaster? Oh.
American Girl. Matt Matson, which I thought was the chef.
That's Maddie
Matheson. But who's Matt Matson?
Major Matt Matson. Major Matt Mason.
Who's M cubed? Who the fuck is this? The Spaceman?
Let me see him.
This is the lamest looking toy ever. Holy shit.
He's just a fucking astronaut.
And disproportionate. This is like a One Piece ass body.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? It was okay. So Major Maddie Madison. And what was the other one I was missing there? Masters of the Universe, which there also was getting a movie, right? Kevin Smith treatment.
Yeah. So
Thomas the Tank Engine, which has had plenty of shows and some movies. And Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Was there a Rock'em Sock'em Robot movie, right? Or
there's
Real Steel wasn't based on that.
No, but it kind of was.
Yeah, but there wasn't a Rock'em.
There's one coming up with Vin Diesel. I'm pretty sure. I think it's still like they have a script, but they haven't started anything else with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean,
I don't think any of these properties really jump off the page as being like, this needs, like Barbie made sense because Barbie is like for whatever G.I. Joes are to boys, like Barbie is to girl. But none of these are like ubiquitous toys, you know, lovely studio, just lights turn on and off. Like, yeah, you can't make an Uno movie. Barney, like with the David Kaluuya one, I don't know where.
They did get a script for the Uno movie already because I remember reading about it. And apparently the first script had like an F-bomb a minute. And they were just like, we can't do this. And so she had the writer of the script, she had to take them all out and she like could only keep one in, I guess.
Magic 8 Ball, don't get it. Viewmaster, definitely don't get it. The other ones, like they don't really have the name. Like Thomas the Tank Engine is just a kid's movie, sure. Masters of the Universe. You could do something there, sure. I'm sure Clemmer would love that.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I think the Barney thing is interesting. The Barney pitch is interesting.
Just based off that pitch, yes. Any of these could have an interesting pitch, but Barney has the name brand notoriety.
It has like the way they described it. I was like, okay, this could be interesting. It's like, I think he was like, the way Daniel Kaluuya, who's attached to star in it, he was like, what would happen? He's like, Barney's saying is like, I'll always love you if you always love me. And it's like, what if that stops being true? So I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but they also described it as in the vein of films directed by Charlie Kaufman,
which is bizarre for Spike Jonze.
So maybe like that's intriguing enough to me. The other thing with this is like, do these other films get the marketing blitz that Barbie got, which is one of the greatest marketing plans, credit to Warner Brothers, I've ever seen. I would guess not. like fucking Polly Pocket. Like what are we doing here?
Polly Pocket is, and like Polly Pocket, that's just Barbie Light. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah. It's just like mini Barbies.
Well,
Like,
yeah, that's what, but I mean, like, as far as brand name notoriety goes, that's just Barbie Light. And if they're trying to go like, hey, we want to take one of these established IPs and make something out of it, like Barbie was your number one overall pick.
yes.
And like Barney is maybe right after that. But then Barney is like not, I don't know. That's gonna be such a tough one. I need to see something from that, you know?
Barney's also like fell off hard. Like he doesn't have this thing. Like
Barney
fucking bum. Fucking bum. He fell off. He's
Barney
washed.
fell off. Oh shit.
Kids don't still watch Barney.
There's been a couple celebrities.
Kids didn't watch Barney when I was a kid.
I don't think I ever watched Barney, or maybe when I was like a kid, don't remember, but like I don't remember have memories of watching
American Girl. That could maybe be interesting because they all. I don't know, since you don't have a sister, you probably aren't familiar with them. They all have very elaborate backstories.
I know that. I knew that they had names funny. And like you collected them for that, almost like not like a Beanie Baby, but like kind of like that.
Yes, they have like absurd backstories. It's very funny.
And you could like they came in like packages that were backpacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rock'em Sock'em. I mean, we had that.
It was
Real Steel.
And it was sick.
Yeah, it's kind of
Real
sick.
Steel, very underappreciated movie.
None of these, like all of these, I don't know much about Masters of the Universe, but Climmer acts like it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But he's old, so he's out of touch. So it's probably going to stink.
Like it could be like a good fantasy
Viewmaster wasn't even a toy when I was a kid. It was already lame. It was cool for like 3 years in the 80s, right?
It's like making a kaleidoscope.
That's an old toy.
I don't get it at all.
Magic 8 Ball. I guess you could make like a horror movie out of that, maybe.
But is Mattel going to make a horror movie? Is the question, right?
I think I will give him credit. From the way he talks, he does sound like he wants to. Like audiences are craving more mature. Like basically, they've accepted the fact that they need to do IP films, but they don't want to do them soullessly. Like they want to actually put effort forth, which I credit to them. Like if you're gonna do it, fucking go balls to the wall with it, which looks like what they're trying to do. But like, I don't know if you have the fucking IP to do this, man. Like
I appreciated that with Barbie, and we talked about that in the Barbie review. Like there was definitely a line where it just turns into like Barbie porn, like corporate Mattel porn. You know what I mean? Where it's just a big advertisement, and they think they did a good job of being self-deprecating enough to like break the illusion.
Like, oh yeah, we'll sell ordinary Barbie.
Yeah,
like because it makes we ran the numbers. It's gonna make money. We'll do it.
We'll do it immediately. Yeah, exactly. Like they were self-deprecating enough.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's Mattel. Maddie Madison.
I gotta look him up. I want to see if he has a backstory.
Maddie
Madison, I still haven't. So the next thing we're doing, I'm assuming.
Yes, we're doing our draft,
which I haven't put together. I kind of want to like just get a random.
I could do my full team, and then you can do yours if you want. We're doing a draft our own Mattel movie. We're going to be doing a property, director, star, co-star, music, and a good old misc.
I'm going to take Matt Mason. I'm reading him now.
Major Matt Mason. He is. Let's see. They don't really give him. None of this is really like
he lived and worked on the moon. He was introduced in 1966. Like,
he has a brief mention. This is how down bad he is. His last mention, it got a brief mention in the 1984 Garfield book, Garfield, His 9 Lives, in the 9th chapter, Space Cat. They were going to make a 3D film based on the Toy Series, announced in 2011, had a tentative budget of $100 million with Tom Hanks to star. The script is in development, written by Hanks and Graham Yost, and an astronaut who lives and works on the moon. The producers were trying to reach an agreement with Robert Zemeckis. Of course, that would have been dog shit. And as of 2019, Paramount acquired it. Akiva Goldsman is going to be writing it. Who just did what movie did he just write that we reviewed? He did something very similar, or at least maybe we were talking about something he did. I forget.
Who is it?
Akiva Goldsman.
Oh, he's already writing a script for this?
It says he is. Paramount has the film rights, and Akiva Goldsman is producing, with Hanks writing a script based on Michael Chabon's.
So Akiva Goldman's got a wild filmography.
It's bizarre. It's a weird.
So he's got a beautiful mind.
It's like
good.
A lot of ups and downs.
He also has Batman and Robin, which, I mean, is what it is. Good Lord. Yeah, he's producing it or writing it.
So it says he's producing it.
Okay, his producing credits are way worse.
Yeah.
Like he's got Without Remorse, Firestarter. I mean, these are bad. The Crowded Room.
Yeah. That's rough.
King Arthur, actually good.
Wait, which King Arthur?
The one with
Clive Owen?
No, the one with fucking Sons of Anarchy guy.
Charlie Hunnam, that one stunk.
I like that one.
No, you know that's not good.
It's not good, but I like it. Lone Survivor, not bad. All the Paranormal Activities. Hancock. Yeah, he's got a...
I want to note the other mention of Matt Mason is a few moments, and it's the first few moments of the motion picture The Wedding Planner. Major Matt Mason action figure is seen dangling on the flight backpack, delivering a toy wedding cake to Barbie and Ken dolls. Okay, there you go.
All right.
There's your little brand synergy. Okay, but yeah, we could do our draft, right? Let's try it out. We could just start with property right off the bat. And I mean, you said you're going to do Matt Mason.
Yeah.
Major Matt Mason, sorry. That should be respectful of his rank. Should we do like, remember we were going to do that one shirt where it was like, Rick Flag, and it's like, I stand for the, or what the fuck was it? I kneel for the cross and stand for the flag. But it's Colonel Rick Flag. What can we do with Major Matt Mason?
So we're picking a director, a property, a
star, co-star, music, and misc. For my director,
music.
I didn't even
did you say?
Yeah, music. So we'll pick like a composer.
Oh, okay.
My property, you picking Major Matt Mason. I'll be picking
definitely. I'm reading his Wikipedia. He's a fascinating character.
I'll be picking Hot Wheels.
Okay.
And I'll be making a different Hot Wheels movie than the one I think they have in.
That would be their next one, right? That's got to be number 2 in terms of value.
Yes, for sure. And Hot Wheels could be cool because like we've talked about a lot with like racing movies. Like there's already a lot of them. And like you could be like, yeah, Need for Speed or fucking, or not Need for Speed, like Fast and Furious. Like they're not really racing movies anymore. They never haven't been since like the first one. Like the best you could say is like Need for Speed, and like that wasn't good.
I mean, there's
Ford v Ferrari,
Ferrari, and Rush.
Yeah, are
the two that come to mind.
And I mean,
there's so much more dramas than they are racing movies.
But I'll lead that into my director pick, which was James Mangold, because I think and I'll get to it when I build out the rest of this movie. But James Mangold will be the director of my Hot Wheels movie. So think Ford v Ferrari, but focus on focus on the racing more than the drama or historical parts of it. So my Hot Wheels movie is directed by James Mangold, who directs the Major Matt Mason movie.
That's a good question. I was looking at some names.
Matt Mason.
So Major Matt Mason, he lives on the moon. He lives and works there, which is nice. So he doesn't have to travel too far. So that's interesting enough. He looks like he really just looks like an astronaut. Mm-hmm. He's just an astronaut. So I'm going to go with a great sci-fi. I'm going to take Denis Villeneuve. Give me Mattel gets Denis Villeneuve now, but this is my hypothetical world. Denis Villeneuve doing a sci-fi is pretty much, you could take it to the bank. There's nobody better doing sci-fi right now.
Ooh, James Gray would have been good for this too. Maybe too sad having a director.
Yeah, I love Ad Astra. So.
I'm a big Ad Astra guy too.
That was my first thought. I was like, God, I'm just thinking of that scene on the moon.
With the chase scene
on the moon with the gold helmets.
No sound.
So sick.
That looked so fucking good too.
Oh my gosh. I came home like a month ago and turned that on. It's so good.
It's so depressing. It's so good. By the way, Tommy Lee Jones, that's like his best performance of his last 10 years.
Yeah, it's like his only one, right?
That too. But like when you look at that compared to like him just going through the motions on Captain America: First Avenger, no one has mailed it in more, I think, than he did on that.
I don't think he was that bad.
He was bad, dude. You got to watch it again. He's just saying the lines like not like
he's too skinny. He's like, still too skinny.
He's still too skinny. It's like it's not really whatever. But you're Major Matt Mason.
Has there ever been a less convincing father and son than Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah. That was a tough one. But he was really, I think both of them were
he's great.
Okay, Denis Villeneuve, for you. My star, I'm digging in and I'm getting Will Poulter. Will Poulter will be my race car driver in this. And he'll be like, not new to the scene, but he's going to be like relatively like a new guy. A little, maybe not hot-headed. He's gracious to be there. He's just learning the ropes of the Hot Wheels race world. So Will Poulter for me. And plus also, he's now like the hottest guy in the world. And women all over him. They're going to come with the boyfriends to come watch this movie.
What the fuck?
What?
It says, I was looking up what Major Matt Mason actually looks like, and then it says Tom Hanks is supposed to star in a major.
Yeah, that's what I told you, dude.
Well, I don't want Tom Hanks.
Well, you're already kind of... Well, if I got screwed with whoever is in the Hot Wheels movie now, then I'd also be screwed. So I guess you don't have to keep Tom Hanks.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So
No offense to Tommy Hanks.
So your star.
I'm trying to figure out, like, you can barely see his fucking face. You would never even know what he looks like. Okay, he's got kind of a high top face. He looks like Ryan Gosling.
He already did First Man.
I'm trying to think of who does Denny like to work with. Give me, you know what I want? Jake G. Give me Jake G. There we go. When was the last time Jake G did a sci-fi?
He did that Alien movie where he was in space. Not Cloverfield, the other one, Life with Ryan Reynolds. And
that was what, like 2014?
Really? Was that old?
Feels like it was a long time ago.
I would have guessed like 2017.
2017, you're right. So yeah, that was the last like real sci-fi movie. Yeah, so give me... He looks good in Mysterio was basically shaped like a astronaut with his little dome head. So yeah, there we go.
All right, you got Jake G as your protagonist alongside Denny. For my co-star, who I will be saying is the antagonist, I'm going to pick John Hamm. And I think John Hamm, and if this movie...
Are you going to... Is he playing an FBI agent?
No FBI agent this time. He's a race car driver.
What? You can't cast him as not an FBI.
Not an FBI guy?
When was the last time he didn't play a law enforcement?
He's a detective in Fletch?
Yeah, so I mean, like, when was the last time he did not play a part of the law?
Fuck, every movie I'm thinking of, he's a goddamn...
Dude, it's insane. I guess
that's something
Baby Driver, he wasn't.
It's on the other side. But John Hamm in mine.
He was a great antagonist in Baby Driver.
Yes, he's like super funny. For my movie, I'm trying to think of it being like almost close to the same vibes as a Barbie, where it's like, yeah, you can get some like good stuff, like adult stuff out of it, but like you can also get a lot of laughs. And John Hamm, super goddamn funny, man. He is really funny. And also when he wants to be, really menacing. Really goddamn menacing. So I'm going to have John Hamm as my antagonist against Will Poulter. Who is your co-star? It doesn't have to be an antagonist. Can be anyone.
Okay, so Major Matt Mason. I keep wanting to call him Sergeant. I don't know why. Major Matt Mason. He does have other astronauts up there with him. 3 friends. But I don't want to do any of those friends. He's got one main alien who was the antagonist, but then later becomes like part of their crew. This alien's name is Captain Laser.
That's kind of sick, actually.
It's fucking awesome. He's a giant who towered over the astronauts. Character was originally depicted as mysterious, possible hostile entity, but later appeared to be the astronauts' ally against other more hostile extraterrestrials.
Okay.
It's kind of a cool setup. I'm not going to lie. He had glowing red eyes, a glowing breastplate, and a large laser pistol permanently attached to his hand. This is actually pretty fucking sick. Okay, so I'm going to... God, I need somebody fucking massive, but I don't want The Rock.
Captain Laser is just literally a white dude. I thought it would be like an actual alien. Just a regular man.
Oh, he's just a regular man? Then give me...
Captain Laser, Superman laser powers. Laser sound? I don't even think that makes sense.
We're the largest actors working right now.
Like,
you know who
physically
I want?
Largest?
Oh, you know who I want? Give me fucking Lee Pace.
Yeah.
Give me Lee Pace's long... By the way, somebody put up a picture of him on the set of Foundation, shirtless. He's got the longest torso I've ever seen.
Very long.
He's shaped like Crash Bandicoot.
He's like butt naked in the first episode too, like fucking a robot. It's awesome.
I mean, he is.
Dude, he's plowing that robot. It is unbelievable.
He should have a much larger, like, horny fan base than he does. Like, he should be a guy that girls go nuts on for online. Yeah. He's a very small following, but he is incredibly handsome.
But I will say the small following of horny following of Lee Pace is extremely horny.
I don't blame him.
Like concentratedly very horny. For my music, I'll go with Marco Beltrami, who's done many things, but is also he's the Zimmer to basically, or the Zimmer to Nolan that you know what I'm trying to say here. He's James Mangold's guy.
Okay,
he's a guy. He does all of his movies. He also does a lot of other really good movies. He did the soundtrack for what was the Alex Honnold climbing movie? God damn it. The documentary that won Best Oscar and all that. He did the Free Solo.
Free Solo.
He did the music for Free Solo, which is excellent, among many other great things. But like he is, I think, a very underappreciated composer in the game right now. And I like him in this Hot Wheels movie. And also this Hot Wheels movie would have to have great actual soundtrack too. Just gonna throw that out there. Your composer.
You know, he's never worked with Denny before. Denny's mainly been Zimmer lately.
Ludwig?
No, that feels too trite.
Bias.
Yeah. But I do think he's like he's next up, right?
I think he basically is up.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like I feel like John Williams kind of passed off the baton to Zimmer, and now Zimmer's kind of passing it on to. By the way, very weird contingent, and this is mainly on Twitter, of people who have decided that Zimmer is not a good composer.
No, you're an insane person if you think that.
Or his music hasn't been good. Like, if you want to debate whether or not he actually has composed a majority of his works, that's fine. Like, he has like his own little business and he's got a team of people that help him. Sure. His scores are iconic. Like, what are we doing here? He's easily the best of the 21st century, at least in terms of like what his current catalog is. Zimmer's great. Sorry to get sidetracked. I'm going to take somebody who I haven't heard from in a while. Ramin Djawadi, who did the Game of Thrones. Fantastic composer. He did Westworld 2, which is a really great sci-fi score. Like that opening is still one of my favorite openings all time. I would love that on the moon, especially if you get that little piano. He loves working in the pianos. Like, yeah, I would love that.
I like that a lot too. For my MISC, I will be doing. Oh, and speaking of composers, by the way, when I was watching Foundation, I was like, wow, whoever made this score really ripped off Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. But that's because it was Bear McCreary who did both. And he did a lot of musical borrowing across those two soundtracks. Those two soundtracks sound very similar.
I'd say most of the great composers do have a sound to them.
No, but it's not like that. Like the actual, like, it's melody. Almost like beat for beat. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, I was
going to say, like, you can kind of, like, if you hear a John Williams score, you're like, that's John Williams.
There's some guys that do that. I think James Horner used to do that a lot. I think he's the one who passed, right? I believe. I just want to make sure.
Morricone, like you can immediately hear Morricone.
Yeah. Borrowing. Let's see if it shows up. Yeah. James Horner's self-plagiarisms. There's a whole YouTube comp on it.
The fucking asshole who sat down and made this.
We'll have to maybe even cut this, but I almost just want to watch it for ourselves.
I like that. It's snappy. Oh no, it's a different clip. It's Star Trek now. That's the same.
Bicentennial Man.
It's a nice score. I can almost guess what the next one's gonna be. That's Spider. It sounds like.
No, he didn't do Spider-Man. Beautiful Mind.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should bring him on. Since he did.
What, James Horner? He passed away.
Oh.
Wait, there's one egregious one I really want to find.
Did you watch this before?
No, but there's ones I know. Like, here's Titanic. Is this it? Yes.
Oh my god. Just another movie on a boat too. That's tough. It's a different movie now.
No, I don't want to. If we didn't use it in the movie, I don't want to. Re-escape. I want to find. Where is it? Troy, you sons of bitches. Troy was his most egregious. How do you not include that?
By the way, I started up Troy. By the way, we probably had to cut that. It's very egregious.
It's very egregious. He passed away though, so R.I.P.
I did flip on Troy a couple weeks ago.
All time.
Just like I only watched like the first 20 minutes, and then I had to do something, so I got sidetracked. I forgot how bad of an actor Orlando Bloom truly was.
Yeah,
like his young career. Like he
didn't really have to do anything in that movie, though. To be fair,
no, but he has to deliver a few lines early on, and I'm just like he's kind of just getting outclassed by everyone around him. It's an incredible cast.
Brian Cox, Brendan Gleeson, Fucking Brad Pitt. Although Brad Pitt isn't exactly a shining moment for him either. But
No.
Eric Bana was doing really well. Diane Kruger's doing better than him. Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Garrett Hedlund was in that.
By the way, speaking of Brian Cox, I never realized that was him in The Ringer. He plays his uncle.
I did not remember that.
Yeah.
He also plays the uncle of William Wallace in Braveheart. He like teaches him how to do everything.
That
like,
makes more sense.
Yeah, significantly more sense. Huh. I saw that you guys put the debate up about The Ringer, and what was it? Whether it was heartwarming or insulting.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I feel like you'd have to ask people in that community to see what they.
No, you got to go back and watch it. It is absolutely heartwarming.
Okay.
They take no shots at mentally challenged people. It's all Johnny Knoxville is the butt of the joke through the whole movie.
Okay, yeah. So for my misc, I will be doing maximum practical. So I'm saying this movie.
Okay.
There is the. If you can avoid it at all costs, there will be no CGI. I want this to be the most maximum. I want cars destroyed, and I do not care how much it takes, how long it takes. There needs to be physical car destruction at a maximum rate, and there cannot be CGI explosions, any of that shit. And I don't care how it's done. Needs to be done for this movie.
Okay. All right.
And what's your misc?
I'm trying to think of what a
Major
what
Matt Mattson?
No, I'm trying to think of practical Matchbox cars like smashing into each other.
Oh, it's basically just it's Hot Wheels, by the way,
or Hot Wheels. Sorry, which is way better than Matchbox. I don't know why I said that. Fucking Matchbox stinks compared to Hot Wheels.
They don't race; they're just die cast. Hot Wheels, they go crazy. You got the tracks and everything.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. I'm trying to think of what I want for my miscellaneous. I'm kind of inching towards just like give me Ana de Armas like in any capacity.
And that works. Yeah,
like they don't have a female. There's no female cast member on this, but I think we can make it work somehow. Make her an AI. I want. That's what I want. Since they're alone there on the moon.
Yeah. They're
probably going to have like some digital, like they'll probably incorporate
sounds like a very
digital
familiar
woman
role for her. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Have her in there as just Joy again.
Yeah. So Ana de Armas. So my movie is Hot Wheels, directed by James Mangold, starring Will Poulter and John Hamm. Composed by Marco Beltrami, and Maximum Practical. You were doing Major Matt Mason, directed by Danny Villeneuve, starring Jig G, Lee Pace, Ramin Djawadi, right? And Ana de Armas.
Listen, you
got the better names.
After reading through this, like, go to the Wikipedia of Major Matt Mason. I kind of want to see if they have any comics on this guy, because this storyline is pretty sick that they have set up. Like,
especially based on the 60s too. Captain Laser.
I figure it was intended.
Captain Laser is kind of just a sick name.
Captain Laser, yeah, and he's got a large laser pistol permanently attached to his hand.
Yeah, what? Rocks.
Oh my gosh! There's other aliens. One named Callisto, Scorpio.
Callisto's such a cool term.
One was just named Or.
Wait, was Callisto a? Fuck, what was it? Stupid game Returnal?
You can get jetpack attachables.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a sick toy line. Like, this is sweet.
Yeah. We'll have to take a bigger look into Major Matt Mason. Just kind of an insane name. I thought, again, when you typed it in, I was just like, that's homeboy from Chef.
Yeah.
And that Selena Gomez cooking show, which was pretty good, by the way. Like,
oh yeah, I like her cooking show.
Among all the COVID based properties to come out, you know what I mean? Like that was one of the few ones I actually liked.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it with Florence Pugh, because that was like her whole thing during lockdown.
Is that she was cooking?
Cooking with Flo. Like she would just show up on Instagram Live and just sit there and cook for.
Here's the big thing: not many people know who she is, and everyone knows who Selena Gomez is.
Selena Gomez. I'm just gonna say it. I had no clue she had those heavies on her.
Yeah, that's the end of the show. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Make sure you watch They Clone Tyrone. Very funny movie. You guys are gonna like it.
See ya.